Let's talk about Squid Game 2, and I will be brutally honest with Gi-han. Gi-han character development from the end of Season 1 to the start of Season 2 is just remarkable. When you look at Gi-han's face between Season 1 and 2, you will realize the difference between the bliss of ignorance and the curse of knowledge. Whenever you see his face in Season 2, you can immediately see the horrors he went through just by looking at his face. The reason why the boat team on a goose chase is 'cause of the captain. He set up the whole team. He planted the chip, the explosion, and he found the hitman brother. I had wondered that from the second he said that he had found him floating. I wondered if the front man had called him to save his brother and then keep him away from all of it. Complete the video till the end so that you know all my feelings and my thoughts about it. The characters. 1. The recruiter.
Paper, scissors? You didn't play anything. Disqualified.
Bro, the recruiter played his part so amazingly, it's actually astounding. The dude played the best crazy person in this series. Props to him. Rock, Paper, Scissors -1 was the most intense game this season. When he pulled the trigger on himself first for the Russian roulette game, that part had me on the wow of my seat. Oh my God. So this Korean Patrick Bateman, in just one episode, he became my favorite character in the entire show. 2. Thanos. Having a rapper named Thanos and having him say random English phrases after speaking Korean was funny as hell.
My beauty flower, I'm a legend, Thanos. I like you.
Hilariously, he is also a rapper from a pretty huge K-pop group. This kind of character is extremely on brand for him. I lost it when he showed his different nail polish colors as infinity stones. I hoped he didn't die in the show to make the season 3 more fun. Because the writer made us all expect something from him and we had expectations. But when he died without anything, it made me feel a little disappointed. 3. Gi-hun and Frontman. The Frontman was absolutely badass this season. Imagine the mental and emotional trauma when Gi-hun realizes the very person he was looking for was right beside him all along. I'm sorry, but if you were Gi-hun, after everything that happened, wouldn't you be suspicious of if a guy comes in and his number is 001, starts asking questions more than anyone as if an interrogation, has some weirdly good fighting skills, and just survives constantly while changing his demeanor like American Psycho? I observed that throughout the show, the front man consistently tried to make 456 agree on one principle, that sacrifices are necessary to achieve something significant. In the final episode, when 456 was finally willing to sacrifice some members of his group, the satisfaction on the front man's face became evident. Is it any we? 1. The policeman. The thing I didn't like is the subplot with the team that Gi-hun has put together that is constantly trying to figure out where he's been kidnapped to, and every time the movie switches to them, it's pointless. It feels like we're just seeing filler because they're no closer to finding him. They're constantly searching for him, and nothing really comes of it. But it does set up a very interesting captain that we get introduced to in Season 2 that has some it's going to be. I had wondered that from the second he said that he had found him floating. I wondered if the front man had called him to save his brother and then keep him away from all of it. The reason why the boat team is on a goose chase is 'cause of the captain. He set up the whole team. He planted the chip, the explosion, and he found the hitman's brother. Literally, the captain is in the cahoots with the island, obviously, and made them go in circles. So the captain that's introduced here in that side plot that is doing some real fishy shit that is definitely going to play a big role in the next part. But I can only talk about the second part because that's what came out. Every time it was about them, it was just boring. They didn't accomplish anything at all. It just felt like wasted time. 2. The shooter. In the Squid Game, one of the shooters is introduced. We see things from their perspective as they kill the contestants. It's interesting to learn about their life inside and outside of the game. However, the character doesn't really have a significant role in the season. In Season 1, you saw a lot of it. Now, you see it from someone who actively kills people in the game. We do know a little bit about this character, but not a lot. We see that they're going through some difficult times while doing their job. However, the character doesn't really do anything in the season. Sometimes we catch glimpses of a different perspective. However, the character doesn't provide any narrative push or meaningful change. It seems like it will be significant in Season 3, but that's what I mean. When you're just breaking something up into parts, you get things that are half-baked like that, and that just always kind of bothers me a bit. I am really getting tired of the trend of breaking things in half, because then you only get half of, like, the whole package that you need to now wait. It's hard to even call it a bad ending when there isn't an actual ending season finale. I kid you not, it felt like an ending to a regular episode, and Netflix forgot to upload the rest of the season. Whereas in a case like this, you just feel like you got half of the package and you have to wait for the next one to get the whole thing. So that's just starting to bother me a little bit. I have a request and I hope you can help me. I don't like to share my suffering in life, but I want you to know that I am going through somewhat difficult circumstances. So I was hoping you could help me by just sharing my video. If you can subscribe to my channel, click like, and leave a comment, it will help me publish the video and it will reach other people, and my dream will come true. Your support means a lot to me. Is it any good? I know that there are some flaws that I talked about previously in the video, but this does not mean that the season is bad. To be honest, Season 2 was really well done, and the plot they selected was fantastic. I was constantly on the edge of my seat because of what they did with the recruiter. I think the writer and director duo did a fantastic job and was performing on point. Although I think the second season is good, even I went into the series expecting it to be kinda shitty. But that wasn't the case. The villain here, the front man we know from the first season, is so good. He's the perfect counterpart to our hero, and he plays on the line, if you want to play the hero, I'll show you the consequences, and boy does he do that. But I think overall this was much better than I expected, a really solid second season for something that I didn't think should have had a second season in the first place. Normally, I think a show like Squid Game is best just left as is. You know, a glorious triumph in the moment that it happened, rather than trying to outlast it and extend it to a second season just because it was popular. That's always boring when that happens, but in this case, I think it was really well done. I would like to discuss some things. In the game of red light, green light, there's a pivotal moment when players realize that their lives are genuinely at stake and that breaking the rules could lead to real consequences. At this moment, notice how the son immediately jumps into action to protect his mother. When green light is called, he quickly shields her, putting himself in front, but later, during the mingle game, the same son abandons her. The small detail emphasizes how drastically human behavior can change when a significant amount of money is involved. Although he later regrets leaving his mother behind, the fact remains that he abandoned her at that moment. There are some fools who think he was dragged to the fullest. These people defending him are purposely making it seem like he was dragged to the fullest. He obviously could have resisted, but he didn't. And that is the reason why he cried, and not because he saw that his mom is still alive. His regret made him cry. He thought it was over and that the human mind, most of the people defending him, would do the same and then blame the others for dragging. His only thought was survival. That's it! He cried because of the regret that he didn't stay with his mom, not because she was still alive. Some people act blind. And his mom knew that too, and that's literally why she yelled at the frontman when he asked her where her son is and if he abandoned her. It's obvious. What is my rate? Season 2 wasn't bad, but it seems almost contradicting that Gi-hun purposely let a large majority of the X die when the O attacked them after trying the entire season to keep everyone alive. Letting a large majority of the people who wanted out of the game die in order to risk a plan that might work, although it had a high risk of many more players dying, didn't fit with what Gi-hun was fighting for the entire time. But this does not mean that the entire season will be garbage. There are actors who excelled in their roles, and there are many wonderful scenes, so my rating for the show is 7 out of 10. Don't forget to tell me your rating out of 10, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Peace.